everybody, it's me. It's Ethan McKinley, and we're here in the last part, visually, of the Terminator films, and we're on our 5th film. So technically, this is the last time we're going to talk about what's on screen in any Terminator film.
Terminator film.
I mean, there's always the series. We might do
No!
What? We will, don't worry. Yes, hello everyone, it's...
This series happen.
It is the 2-Minute Terminator, and we break down the Terminator films 2 minutes at a time. We're on episode 58, and we're going from minutes 116 to 118. The 1 hour 16 minute mark, the 2 minutes bridging the gap all the way to the 1 hour 18 minute mark. And I bid thee welcome. On the other end of the line is the sexiest voiced podcaster on earth, apart from me, Ellie Fitzgerald.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you? Oh no. We've gone from Kathleen Turner in Body Heat to leukemia. Your voice has changed slightly, Ellie.
Has it?
A little bit.
It's so funny, yesterday you were all full of the compliments, and today you saw me for a split second and said that I looked like, what was it? A haggard drag queen.
You don't, you look great.
So,
I think you're great.
we Ethan's ever-changing fancies. Yes, welcome to the show. We break down the Terminator film 2 minutes at a time. This particular film that we're doing is Genisys. It's not my favourite of the movie franchise. I'm Ethan McKinney. The man over the other channel in Birmingham is Ellie Fitzgerald. And hit the music.
Yeah, I think this guy's a couple cans short of a six-pack.
Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger, to me.
Load up.
You didn't do the 4th.
Thank God. It sucked. It's so good.
And we are back, yes. No, your voice has changed considerably. You now sound like a posh boy.
Yay!
Anyway, the 2 minutes in question that we are talking about, folks, it begins with Kyle giving his younger self something to remember for the future. And it ends, of course, with a complete blackout as Pops drives off into an unknowable future. Quite literally, in fact, because this was meant to be the start, as I said, of a franchise, and it actually killed the franchise. So, unfortunately...
Kill that?
Kill that. Yeah, it's the last 2 minutes. It's the last thing the filmmakers have to say, their final statement on humanity and politics and the future of the war with the robots or what have you. Alan Taylor, of course, the director from Game of Thrones fame, who I'm sure cast Emilia Clarke, I think wrongfully, perhaps, arguably, as Sarah Connor. And, yeah, Ellie's got some notes. I've got some things to say.
I have many notes.
We were going to have a sexy poem or some excerpt from a porn film today with Ellie reading. Do you have that information, Ellie? If not, it's not a problem, because I think we might get taken off air for you sounding not like a husky-voiced siren now, and more akin to a Catholic schoolboy, which I guess some of the audience out there might like, but I'm not sure what demographics we play to.
Well, I found a poem, but let's remember the sexy voice of yesterday. Okay, cool.
Should we do it at the end?
No, let's not. Okay, so my first thought at the beginning of this particular 2 minutes was, we have Kyle talking to...
Hang on.
Old Kyle.
Sorry. You said you've got a sexy thing to say, but you're not going to do it.
I said I found a naughty poem, but if my voice isn't sexy anymore, what's the point in doing it?
Your voice is sexy. I'm saying we should do it at the end when your voice has got a bit more wear into it, and we keep the listeners stuck until the final episode. The end of it, anyway.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, so we see old Kyle talking to young Kyle, and he's saying, right, so...
I'm sorry,
so
keep going. It sounds great. Oh, Ellie, this is great. Come on, dude. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at your your voice. It's cool. I'm
just letting you die on air. That's all.
Sorry.
So yeah, we have old Kyle talking to young Kyle, and he's saying, right, you need to remember this, and you need to repeat it over and over to yourself. Genisys is Skynet. Genisys is Skynet. Blah blah blah. If I was that kid, I would be thinking, what the hell is
Shut up, old man. What are you talking about, Skynet? Yeah, I know what you mean.
But that kid, like, would you not maybe give him a bit of background? Or, I don't know. I'm questioning why they even went to see this kid whatsoever.
Well, I mean, if
But
someone
anyway-
walked up to you when you were, like, 11 and said Skynet is Genisys, Genisys is Skynet, and then just walked away from you, you would not remember that moment. I wouldn't.
Oh, I would. That'd be,
Would
like,
you?
very weird. Of course you would.
Well, I said.
Especially, like, seeing some weird men, like, stood by the trees. There's some kind of, well, I guess he thinks she's hot. She's probably the first female he's ever seen that isn't his mom. Believe me, kid, there's a lot hotter out there than Amelia Clark. Yeah, so we've got Kyle telling him that he needs to remember that Genisys is Skynet. So, but they've just defeated Skynet in this timeline, so why would he need to remember that Genisys is Skynet?
Oh, I know, completely. Well, I mean, the back door is... Well, easy.
What were you laughing at, Ethan?
I was going to say, can you say the back door is open in that voice?
The back door is open.
There we go. Now, I was going to say the filmmakers have left the back door open. We will come to it in perhaps the next episode after this or the one after that. We get a little glimpse of Matt Smith's holographic face appearing out of nowhere. But no, you are right. They've tied up technically all the loose ends. They have destroyed Skynet, and there's no kind of future in this reality or this timeline for the war with the machines to even be happening now, unless they're still sticking with that no fate but what you make. But that's not really the through line of this film. It's that's much more of a moniker of I guess Terminator 3 to justify its own existence, when they kind of neatly, as most Terminator fans know, wrapped it up with Terminator 2. So no, I don't know why he's saying that to Carl. In the off chance there might be a kind of like future war, and he needs to know that. And even if he did know that, what would he do?
But
Just run
Genisys-
around to
but
all the
Genisys
Genisys shops going... It's like going, the iPhone's
But
evil.
they've been but Skynet's been destroyed. Without Skynet, there is no Genisys. The whole building, like, what?
I completely
I
agree
didn't get
with
it. I
you.
was like, hang on a second, you've just destroyed Skynet. John Connor, the robot, has now been terminated. So yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't understand it at all. We then see Pops kind of looking on at Kyle, and Sarah stood there, and then he says to them, oh, you know, Kyle Reese, he's a good man.
And she goes, yeah.
Like, how does Pops know what's good and what's bad? Like, he's a Terminator.
Well, more to the point that you made in the last episode, I think, or the one before that, when he starts to allegedly cry, perhaps he does take a step to becoming more human. And, not to mention, when he falls into the kind of like the T-1000 making splooge, is he now more advanced? Does he have access to kind of a higher level of consciousness?
Well, he almost gives Kyle a smile as well when they go to walk off. They both kind of give each other a knowing look.
I think because he's going to Carl, yeah, you're going to get a taste of what I've had for the last 30 years. Easy.
That is another thing I was also thinking. So he's actually, and also that's making judgment. That's not just knowing the difference between good and bad. That's assessing something and saying that's good or that's bad. Like, that's a judgment. Again, a very human quality. So maybe Pops is just going to become more and more human from now on.
Yeah, I mean...
Do you reckon Pops has like a shelf life? Do you reckon he'll die at some stage?
Now he's a T-1000. I don't know. And
Yeah.
the other thing I think is, the stuff he falls into isn't kind of like, how do you say it, like fully formed, or like it's not like a finished product. So how can it be a functioning T-1000? I don't know. I mean, I know this is all bullshit and it's a movie and stuff and it's all fake, but like, let's break this down. How he would turn from a robot into a T-1000. I mean, like, he falls in as himself with his like living tissue over a metal endoskeleton or a combat chassis, as Michael Bean's Carl would say. What would happen at that point? Would it be his chip that floats out and infects the T-1000 juice? Because, I mean, well, in the previous scenes when we've seen the T-1000, like, technically, or a bunch of them being made, being, like, drawn out of the kind of, that mercury moat, if you will, like, as it, like, the lasers pull it up and, I guess, infect the metal with intelligence or programming. Now, how does that play into Arnold falling into that moat and coming out as a functioning robot? Not only that, but with his own consciousness and prior memories as Pops. I don't know. Well, I think it was just a way of killing him off so you go, no, to create some kind of like phony like feeling to the movie, and they're going, "Oh, there you go. Only kidding. We didn't really kill him. He's now a T-1000." I don't know. It makes little sense. It's something I have trouble with in the film, I think.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It doesn't make any sense, and that's why I was thinking, does he have a shelf life? Now that he's been upgraded, does that mean he gets to live like an extra 100 years? Like, I don't know. There must be like a certain cut-off, no? Like a battery life. Although he hasn't got batteries, let's not get into that again.
T-1000. Here we go. I'll Google it, see if I can glean something.
Kyle then goes over to Sarah and he says, "Oh, what now?" And she stops and she gazes into the distance. She goes, "Oh, you're right, I can choose." And then she does this weird face stroke. Who does that? Like, have you ever like touched someone's face and stroked it before you've like leant in for a kiss?
Imagine your girlfriend's face really now, and then run your fingers down the centre of her face like in Face Off. That would have done. She'd hate it.
To be fair, you and Sophie, you've probably done that to Sophie at some point. You were very soppy with her, so I'm sure there was lots of face stroking.
I was. It's from before I fell into the liquid metal moat of evil.
So now Sarah feels like he's proved himself. So now she'll have sex with him. I don't know. It's kind of a very. I don't know. Girls can be like that, can't they?
What do you mean?
Well, like, he kind of has to prove himself before she'll let him just, put the P in the V.
Well, I think also, I guess...
She made him work for it.
Yeah, she made him work for it, and he's kind of gained some status. Although, I don't know why, because the person that's technically saved the day in all of this has been Arnold.
His Pops. Yeah, I know.
Like, I mean,
he should be getting all the goods.
Well, who flew the helicopter away from the police station? The police headquarters, the HQ, at about 4 or 5 episodes back, and where they're in the air battle.
Did. Because every girl can rely on her Pops.
No, did he though? Because he jumps out of the helicopter and goes like, "Wait here, I'll be back," in an awful shoehorn, get that line in. He jumps physically through the T-1000.
He came back.
He did come back, unlike my dad.
No, he came back when he realised that no one else wanted him and he had nothing else. He asked for your mum back. So
well, that technically was when he was on his back foot financially and for health reasons.
Yeah, that's what I mean. When he needed something, when he needed something or he needed someone.
I know. Just like.
But that's human nature.
He's like Hoggle.
Huh?
He's like Hoggle. I know he was needed.
He was needed. Talking about making them work for it, I would have thought it would be so funny if Sarah had gone to go up on tiptoes to kiss Kyle, and then he'd just pulled away. I'd be like, "Whoa, babe, let's take this slow." I'd love it if he'd made her. I'm actually
gay. I've been feeling loads of peer pressure from my friends to do this with you, and I'm really can't.
I'm kind of feeling Pops.
Or he goes to put his hands on Sarah, and Pops just rips his head off. He goes, "No."
Oh my god! And let's discuss the really cringy Pop smile.
Yes. Because
so
that
he watches
is
them make out. That's a bit weird. It's like having your dad watch you make out with your potential future boyfriend. It's a bit strange. But yeah, the weird smile. We've already had it. Why again?
Well, it's a callback, isn't it? It's a cheap trick that's Cheap Trick, 80s metal group.
But it just looks bad.
It does. I mean, also, it's actually a callback to a scene that wasn't even in Terminator 2. It was put into the extended edition, which James Cameron has stated that's not my preferred version. The cinema version is my preferred version. So all that stuff, extra things that you see in Terminator 2, I actually prefer the extended version. So what do I know? But yeah, he said that shouldn't have been in it. He took it out for a reason because it looks silly. And it was a moment of levity that you didn't technically need. But, I mean, they've played on that now for, well, the next film, which was Terminator 3. And again, in this, he does it twice in this, for crying out loud. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. It's cute. But it's just you don't really need it. In fact, you know what? He does it 3 times in this film. He does it at the start when he goes, "Hey, Kyle Reese, nice to meet you." Then he does it in the police station when he's getting his mugshot. And then he just does it here at the end. So that's 3. That's a trilogy of smiles. Let me tell you about smiles, Adam.
I was actually about to say that. Let me tell you about smiles. Okay, right. So my next. Oh yeah. So he's just watched them make out. Kyle's just like, that's a bit weird. And then Sarah goes, you'll get used to it. So like, what? Pops is into watching. Like, what did that mean?
And she also goes, I Choo-Cho Choose you? I suppose you didn't pick up on that.
Oh my god, you didn't even react to that fucking image I sent you. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. He'll love it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I give up. I really give up. If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, you're fired. But it's from an old school Simpsons episode when...
Episode?
Whatever, you sound like a brummy cunt all the time.
It's not that, I just think you sound a bit like a boy that's had like a traumatic day at public school.
Okay, the sexy's gone. I had one day of feeling like, a normal girl, and it was great. I get it. My day's over.
By the way, listeners, if you felt kind of a bit uncomfortable with Ellie's blue language...
Blame Ethan, because he kept saying, so don't.
I don't know, it was great. I'm glad we just caught it on when you're on that crest of a wave. It was amazing.
So my last note on this, well, actually no, my second to last note is where actually is this farm? It looks really beautiful. Whereabouts was this filmed? Do you know?
I don't. I really don't.
Tut tut. And then the last note that I made was so we get to see the actual end of the, like you said, the film, and then it kind of ends with doo 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 doo, which is the classic Terminator music, which obviously they've taken again. I mean,
that's the Terminator theme. You can't really kind of not use that. But you mean it's like an exact, like even beat for beat the same as
it almost sounds
Brad
like
Fiddel's version.
They've just taken that and just laid it over. I don't know. I felt like all these films, they all tried to. Obviously, Genisys was kind of back to with the original storyline a bit more, but they're kind of trying to do their own thing. I just thought they might maybe change it ever so slightly, or...
By the way, the farm that you just mentioned, you wanted to know where it was? I kind of suspected it could be in this area, but I didn't want to say anything. It's the Marin Heartlands in California, which is... Marin County is like a very pretty, picturesque county. It's famous, of course, because George Lucas put his production-based Skywalker Ranch there, which, of course, contains Skywalker Sound and the early days of Pixar. It's this very pretty place where all the rich and shameless live. They didn't like George very much.
Do you have to be shameless to be rich?
Huh?
Do you have to be shameless to be rich?
Not really, but George Lucas, when he kind of retired from films and sold Star Wars, when he sold on Skywalker Ranch...
Raped Indiana Jones?
No, I can't remember. I think he applied to extend the land to build more area for the studio, and I think the locals all turned on him and picked on him and went after him, so he couldn't do it. So when he sold Skywalker Ranch, I think he sold much of it to build low-income housing on it. So,
oh my god!
I think it's just like this sly dig at his kind of rich neighbours.
Oh dear!
Oh dear!
Well,
but yeah, Marin County is where it is.
Do you have any cock-ups?
I don't.
Or fact attacks?
Well, yeah, I do. I've got 3 fact attacks.
Fact attack!
What's your favourite ice lolly, Jimmy?
What?
Nothing. It is rumoured that the following film will be Arnold Schwarzenegger's last.
Oh, I get it. Small boy.
Last film playing the Terminator, and that his son Patrick Schwarzenegger will take over the role. That definitely is a rumour, and that ain't happening, especially the Patrick Schwarzenegger bit. I think a better looking, I guess, maybe... I gotta stop saying I guess, it's the new basically. Ow. His other son, that from the Mexican Nanny, he looks a lot more like Arnold than his kind of Kennedy side of the family son, Patrick. Cock up number 2. I mean, sorry.
Oh, for God's sake,
is it?
Get it right. Fact attack. You do the sound effects.
Okay. Fact attack. Pew. Although Terminator Genisys is the first installment of a new Terminator trilogy of movies, it is rumoured that the following installment, which is obviously not happening now, which will be the 6th film in the franchise, will be Arnold Schwarzenegger's last ever time in the role. That's obviously, I think, pretty much not going to happen now, unless James Cameron puts him in it in some form or fashion. If the rumour is false, and Terminator Pops, the Schwarzenegger Pops version, does not get killed off in Terminator 6, it is possible that Terminator Pops version will be killed off in T7, the conclusion of this trilogy, and it will allow Arnold to retire from the role for good. Now, obviously, this was, I guess, a fact attack written when this film was in fact planned as a trilogy, but Skydance, that produced the film, have said that Paramount have taken the film off its roster of films that were meant to be shot in 17, and come out in 2018. That's now scrapped and not happening, so the future of this franchise is pretty much dead in the water. Unlike Arnold's career, who's in a film called Aftermath coming soon. Fact attack number 3. Pooh. By the end of the movie, Sarah Connor has
Your efforts at making special effects on guns is fucking atrocious.
Well, do you know what? Because I didn't want to put you through doing the guns bit, but I said fact attack number 3, and then you didn't say fact attack. So I thought I'd do it for you.
I missed you, soz.
Anyway, by the end of the movie, Sarah Connor has a cut, the same cut on her shoulder that she would have had received in Terminator 2 had the timelines not been disrupted. In T2, Sarah receives the cut in the elevator while escaping the T-1000 from the mental ward. This may insinuate that some things in history are unavoidable. I think it's more of a tribute or a nod to kind of making it look a bit like Linda Hamilton, or trying to at least. In Terminator 2. Well, you failed, Bruce.
You're fired.
Dick, you're fired. Thank you.
I can't even say that properly. Yes. So, any more fact attacks?
No, but I will ask you a question, Ali. We've been doing this for I think 2 years now, or thereabouts. This is the last piece of visual cinematic Terminator that we're looking at before we cut to the credits. How have you felt doing the Terminator films? I might add, there's been so many stops and starts in this season. We actually started, believe it or not, Ellie, in September.
In 2014?
No, we started Terminator Genisys in September. We've limped along for 4.5 months on this.
Yeah, I know, but
life has been happening.
Exactly. Yeah, there's been so much going on. I haven't had a stable place to live since almost this time last year. So think about that, guys. How have I felt about it? So I guess the first season, it was just kind of really me finding my feet and just sounding like a dick and not knowing how this works, because I'd never done anything like this. And then I feel like by the second season, I'd really got into the swing of things. But excuse me.
I've got the black lung, Pop.
So not well.
You're coughing blood into your linen hanky, you Victorian maid.
Like Satine in Moulin Rouge. I feel like by the second season, I got so into the swing of things, I just forgot we were actually doing a podcast on a film, so it just kind of became all about my personal life and a bit of your personal life.
Yes.
So we kind of steered away from the film. And then I feel like the third film, it was a good mixture of personal and film. I feel like the fourth season was just all about the film and was just really boring. And then this season, I think it's been quite a good balance. I
think it'd be interesting looking back and seeing how they actually play, as it were. Now they're behind us.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I could actually listen to the first season. It might be good. It
might be nice to actually listen back. I think because I've put both versions of the first episode we ever did. I think the first episode we ever did is a bonus episode at the end of the first season, because I did one and thought it stank, and then we did another one, didn't we?
Well, no, it's because my brother was doing it, and my brother, who is the most introvert, shy person, he's got so much knowledge about films, but you and me, I think, just completely steamrolled over him. And he just wasn't comfortable. He didn't know you, and this is completely new, and it's something that's being recorded. So, bless him. If he could have come out of his shell more, he would have been great. He really, really would. But unfortunately, he was just very, very nervous, and so didn't really actually get to say a lot. Bless him.
The Sharia law of Ethan's podcast was no good for a delicate woman like him.
Oh, bless him. I love you, Baron. Big love to you. Yeah, how do you feel about it, Ethan?
It's good. I feel like I've learned a lot. It's been a great training, and I think we've got other things planned for the future, which is obviously not film centric, and we can talk about the ins and outs of our lives. I would put in a request to Ellie when we're in a better place and she's got a stable base that we can do these, I think, 12 episodes on the Sarah Connor Chronicles with or without guests. I don't know, but
Oh, for God's sake!
oh, and by the way, I've heard now.
Put your case to me.
Well, I've just heard from several sources that the best piece of post-Terminator, as in post-Terminator 2, James Cameron's, I guess, vision of Terminator,
It's the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
is apparently the Sarah Connor Chronicles. It's very clever. Carl and Brady said that from Ghostbusters Minute. I heard it on the Weekly Planet podcast as well. Mr. Sunday Movies has said it as well, and stuff. So the word on the grapevine is.
Why don't you have a watch of a couple of episodes, and if you think it's good, then we'll do it. But don't you dare lie to me and say it's good, and then we start watching it and it's utter shit.
Well, the plan would be not to break it down 2 minutes at a time, so we'd be here until the rapture.
And also something else I will have to say: I cannot do this every day.
Oh no, it wouldn't be every day.
Okay.
Bearing in mind, it's a TV show, so I think it's either 8 or 10 episodes, and we just do them live as a kind of commentary over the episode.
Okay.
Yes, I mean that was always would have been the plan anyway with the Sarah Connor Chronicles. So we kind of hopefully we have a guest call in, and we play the episode at the same time, and the episode is 45 minutes long, and we just knock them out like that. So you have 10 or 12 of those.
45 minutes long.
Yeah.
I hope there's a lot going on in this Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Why?
Well, I struggle to get half an hour, and that's with talking about other stuff other than what we're watching.
No,
I don't know. It'll be fine. I'm sure you'll
I think we played it off
a
a big TV as well, and had the sound of the episode on in the background as we discuss it.
Do you know what I think would be much better? I feel like we do it so much better when we're actually in the same room with each other.
Oh no! I think when that's how it would be done as well.
I think when it's over Skype or whatever, it's just a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Because we're not looking at the same thing. We can't judge who's going to talk and the body language and all that crap.
Season 1, Ellie, is 9 episodes. Season 2.
Oh my God! How many seasons are there?
Season 2 is 20 episodes, so it's 22, so it's 31 episodes in all.
Oh my God!
So if you did one once a week, a feature-length episode once a week, I think it'd be quite easy. But that's not for now. We're gonna have a couple of months off, I think, and get our lives in a better place.
Yeah, and can we just move away from Terminator? My God, I'm done. Phew. I really am. I think that's why I couldn't do a Labyrinth podcast. I would end up hating it.
Mm.
And that is my favourite movie of all time. I just couldn't do it.
You. So, Ellie, what have you got to read for us? Are you going to read it in the style of a 10-year-old public school boy today? Which, there might be some of our listeners that like that kind of thing.
Right, well, I'm going to read this just for a laugh, because I know exactly what Ethan's going to think of it. The sexy voice is gone. But I will read this poem. It's not necessarily sexy. I just typed in naughty poems and literally found something great. So, this is called Don't Get Caught. To perv, a desired game we all deserve. First, sit and sip your hot. Eyes up, scanning, aware they're not. Watch them walk by, hitch up their pants, sneaking in another glance. Watching as cake falls from your fork, glance again, dare to be caught. Enjoy the game, share with a friend. Some so hot you go round the bend. Hide behind your cake as you throw an eye. Place your fork to mouth, release a sigh. Think naughty thoughts and crave in turn those sexy bods and bums to burn. Know your limit, dare to live. To perv again, the perfect sin.
Well, I've just come. Thank you, Ellie. That was very well performed.
Thanks, Ethan. Maybe we should have found it yesterday. But Ethan found some really wordy, non-sexy porn stuff from
I know, but I think the point is now, it doesn't matter that it wasn't that sexy last night, the way your voice sounded, it could have been the telephone directory and it would have worked. He was great.
Well, we've forever captured it on the podcast. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us, people. Where can you find the show, Ethan?
You can find the show, as I should have told you at the start of the show, is you should go to the YouTube channel if you want to watch Mystery Science Theater 3K style, as we discuss the clip ad infinitum on repeat. You can follow us on Facebook, which has got the best collection of clips, videos and stills of all the Terminator films, plus the TV show, which we haven't covered yet, combined. And you can follow us on Twitter for lovely updates and pictures of Ellie's boobs. And yeah, we've got a few more episodes to go before we're kind of out of the gate, and then maybe I'll throw in a couple of bonus episodes. I will hopefully have for you the actual commentaries of the Terminator films, with at the very least James Cameron, which I'm going to upload for your listening pleasure. So there's like 2.5 hours of Cameron talking about Terminator in, I think, a better insight than we perhaps have ever had for any of these films. So until tomorrow, hopefully, we'll be back.
Hasta la vista. I thought you were wrapping up. Shit.
I am. It's just like hasta la vista. It's just Ellie and an island. Yeah, thank you all so much, folks, and we shall be back. Hasta la vista,
baby.
Now you better get back to class for the priest catches you, Ellie, or he'll have your guts for garters.
Oh. Sorry, I got my Milky Bars.
Yeah, but don't stick them in your mouth. See you later. Bye.
Machines. They're unstoppable. Watch out for machines. I'll be back.